Lackluster, I'll be your host tonight. How do you guys feel?
You might want to
Just so you guys know, if you want to get on our open mic list tonight, you just got to sign this sheet right here in the front. It also says on it that you're willing to be filmed and posted on the internet at flintunderground.org, as well as on Comcast Channel 17 Public Access, where we have a show every Monday at 6 o'clock. It's this once a month. It's a arts cast that me and Jenny do with local artists and writers and musicians. It's the art walk events and plenty of other cool shows, and it's all available both online for free and Channel 17 on Comcast.
Mod Thai Etiquette was the last group that I got to interview them on our show, and so you can hear them play, and they're great.
Yeah, we always have a great mix of authors, musicians,
Get to hear them talk with each other, have a
artists.
conversation.
So that's all available at flintunderground.org or on Comcast. So how you guys feel tonight?
Good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night. You didn't know it, but just go outside if you're feeling a little depressed. The sun is still shining. I'm happy. I just wanted to kick it off. Just get the movement going with the poem. If that's cool, say cool. Cool. I will do one that I have memorized that you guys probably already heard again, but it's a fun piece. And the idea behind it is being hunted, whether that's physically hunted by murderous stabbers, hunted for your style, hunted for this realness that, you know, Flint sometimes or Detroit sometimes is seen to have. And it's called Most Dangerous Fame. It goes like this. In this town, the indigenous are endangered. And the sprawl's been known to swallow strangers like a jungle. With forked tongues, guerrillas gather on ports and stages, scheming to feed that struggle. Now, respect really beats paid praises, not to pop your bubble, but talent is wasted. Poverty is hyped as true life when the steady job involves selling hazes. Born shivering with thick-skinned coat of pride, a hide stolen by skinny-jeaned racists. Primal chic as destructive as invasives. And tattooed with assuming gazes, these sick poachers from the mainland define a preserved wasteland out of our brickland stable. Pacifying kids in cages, drugged and bobbing, hooked on lines of cable. Sidewalk cafes serving status and the safety of research table. As game, we live in haste, and evolve we are able. Reclaiming cracks in pavement, using fame to feed the struggle, blaming systematic hustle, but that truth it's only mumbled. Now, no one expects you to save us. Credit card transfer dreams, scrap pipes to make payments, think rumble, not flight. Invest in confidence, bank on true statements. If you catch my drift, you cannot fumble. Now, paychecks pay for life's phases, but that change, it's only subtle. We're workhorses, you born feral. Surviving the dead of night, silent, foaming, careful. Seeing new dreams from all new sides of the blind and straight and narrow. You are here. Fight to rewrite maps and draw new arrows. Those rotten power lines vine, tower, and climb above those who tripped and tumbled. Above spaced out heater huddles that change, it's only subtle. Brick metals bloom with grit and grime, a bando forest howls, street names and rubble. Half towns burnt alive, but it only feeds that struggle. We were born to blame the systematic hustle. Born test rats for electric haterade and institutions bound to crumble. A habitat designed for breeding low-life scum and trouble. High-rise buildings taken as trophies, ashen children forced to stumble. And those sidewalk cracks are getting bigger. As more spirits haunt the trigger, as the victims clutch their fingers, fearful of their neighbors, nothing works and everyone labors. The stabber hunted daybreak in darkness on safari for hope and swagger. We're wild left to them. Beasts once tame, now lame or haggard. Our hearts thinned out and staggered, but these predators can be captured. Like venomless snakes, their fables keep them raptured. They pray in grassy chapels, we as prey eat only apples, but they're fermented in a tonic. And we live drunk off of the knowledge, lost under the moon, happy, howling, cuckoo-ca-choo. My pelt looks like this, but scowling. Your eyes are bejeweled, hollow point squeezed by ivory rings. There's blood on your shoes, young bucks like me with horns removed, egos bruised, the hunted, desperate, learn to see. The hungry, fed up, yearn to feed. You see, decay's got a lively following. So slop up tourist pigs and slather meatless ribs, gravy gasping, butchered, wallowing. There's cavities in the canines and arrogance like pride out prowling, leaving lasting legacies. Deliberate with depravity, we're all dead-eyed decoys strung up by gravity. Pendulums in the clockwork running out of time. Our children mean mug the sun for shine, regression gnawing on the spine. Epitomize unraveling, because bitter grapes make better wine.
Woo! Yay!
For Eric Schmidt! Yeah. Cool. And Aaron, I'm gonna warn you, I am not as technical as Al.
Yeah.
So you're on your own here. While he's getting ready, I want to read a poem to you guys from this recently published Voices Volume 5. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Very cool with that?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, come on up. Do what you think if you want. This will be short.
It's off.
I'm really excited about Aaron. He was telling me about his act. It's Bob Dylan meets, punk rock. It's gonna be pretty cool. Real quick, I'll just read a short poem by a friend of ours who passed away recently, Ryan Bellows.
Yeah.
Who really, got a lot of people to move forward and really join the arts community, and I think was a big supporter of stuff like this. And this poem is called Destiny. The idea behind Voices, every year we do a collaborative event, we just had one a couple weeks ago, where we pair a visual artist with a written artist, and they kind of collaborate based on each other's ideas and do peer collaboration, and we publish a book on it. Thank you for your patience, Aaron. It's called Destiny. I suppose finding your destiny is a lot like learning to walk. In the beginning it's awkward, with crawling being the primary means of mobility. I suppose when we're young we muster something, the urge to stand, and once we've brought our feet to the floor we take our first steps, find ourselves closer to the other side of the room. And as we get on in years, we become closer to realizing our destiny. I'm amazed. Destiny isn't always a destination, but it's the steps we're taking that lead us closer to the reality that we're meant to know. So that's by Ryan Bellows. Please let me welcome Aaron to the stage.
Hi, how you guys doing? I'm Aaron Schmidt, and I'm going to start off with a song for the Flint Song Contest.
Oh, great!
I'm not going to go as far as saying it's about Flint, but it's inspired by Flint. I wrote it when I was homesick and living in Florida. It's called My Mistress. And she's lonely tonight. I hear her coming in and it doesn't feel right. She has her desperate eyes on her, she speaks soft and slow. It's hard to resist her and that's something she knows. Being drunk, death, nothing else is unkind. Believe feeling guilty and come back every time. She does what she's doing with no shows intent. You love all your time there and regret every misstep. It's moving closer as the city sleeps. I'm down with her and that's with you I'll be. As for tomorrow, well that's another time. I'm with her, you're on my mind. Even when I'm with her, you're on my mind. My heart is a cold one and it beats instead of time. She keeps her closet in you, so she's always on your mind. Her love is endless when I occupy soul. She plays all times right so that you lose control. Everything's over before anything began. By the time it's the end, you wish that you ran. Nothing will be gained when you go. By the time it's the end, you'll be perfect. It's moving closer as the city sleeps. I'm not with her and that's with you I'll be. As for tomorrow, that's another time. But even when I'm with her, you're on my mind. Even when I'm with her, you're on my mind.
Yeah.
This next one's kind of a new one. It's called Before We Have to Run. 6. On days like this I get no rest. Too many things, too many times. There's not much left in my mind. I could've told you I think I would. Not everyone does as they should. Took the first ride, I should've gone left. The night's so cold I can see my breath. And here's to you, one more round. What we used to do, as bad as it sounds. One more time, could be fun. Let's get out of here before we have to run. Let's get out of here before we have to run. Let's get out of here before we have to run. Rain off the rain on the dreary room. Waking up early at the 1 p.m. Wasn't it between me and them? Heard you words you spoke them songs. I pass it on like I should know. Could've been anything I said one twice. Say it again, I won't be nice. And here's to you, one more round. What we used to do, as bad as it sounds. One more time, could be fun. Let's get out of here before we have to run. Let's get out of here before we have to run. Let's get out of here before we have to run. I got one more, and it's, I thought that song I wrote, this is one of my favorites. It's one I never really stopped liking or enjoying playing. Most of them I get sick of after a while, but I like this song. It's called Hearts and Dreams. Drive away that long song, I'm trying to stay in this town too long. Remember man, just traveling. If you want me, here I am. Blinded by the city lights, I'm trying not to be so bright. Previous life is an enemy, Moses to the punish as paradise. I wanna know if you understand. The words and lines that I sing, they don't mean anything. Till I get to hear them down the same. And express myself. Characterized by the look in your eyes, you tried to look but couldn't see. Something that was clear to me. It happens now, remains the same. After all, you want to dream. I don't know if I told you yet, but I don't want you back. And the funny thing about hard to reach, you don't forget the people where you want to say it's true. And through this life is many moments to the contract. Everybody else is how I want to know if you understand. That I sing, they don't mean anything until I get to hear the dancing and music. All the kindness into this life is many Moses to the point. Just paradise is now I wanna know if you understand. The words and lines that I sing, they don't mean anything till I get to hear my dancing. Shame nothing we were tear, girl. Thank you, I'm Mary Schmidt.
Good job. Keep it going for Aaron. So So you guys may not know about the Flint Song Contest. Do you know about the Flint Song Contest? It's okay. If one person doesn't know, I'm going to talk about it. So we have this ongoing contest. It's a pretty cool thing that we've had for about the last year. This is month 11 of the Flint Song Contest. And what it is basically, we're collecting everyone's local songs, Flint affiliated, Flint inspired. You can even drop the word Flint in it if you want, that counts. And we're recording them. We're going to put them, we have one more month of this. We do it at each of the collab nights. So May is your last chance to contribute a Flint song. You just let us know and we record it at the June Art Walk, which is that second Friday in June at Churchill's Bar and Grill right on Saginaw Street. We're going to have a live viewing of all the videos. And people are going to vote. You guys are going to vote if you show up. And the one that gets the most votes, the best Flint Song Contest winner, is going to win a bunch of crazy, awesome stuff. They're going to be performing their song at a few different festivals, including Aerosol and Audio, our Junebria event. They're going to get some radio time on the Tom Sumner show, which is kind of a big deal. They're going to, of course, get the best thing of all, which is a couple hours recording time here at the Good Beats Cafe with Ken, who I want to just thank for everything he does for us. Can't thank him enough. It's a great prize package, and it really costs you just, a little bit of courage to come up here and do your Flint song.
One more thing I wanted to add to that is that Gary Flynn is going to have the match game. It's going to happen, I had the dating game. We had the dating like 3 times in Creative Alliance at Churchill's. This time we're going to have the match game. And it's going to be in July during Art Walk. So we'll be at Churchill's from like 6 to 10, and then the music starts. And in between the 2 games, because there's going to be two games. Anyway, and in between them, he wanted people who had Flint songs to play their song, if they want. Like, they just get up there and play. Especially these acoustic ones, it's easy, or whatever. I think there's probably an amp there, too. But, so that would be fun if you wanted to do. Even whether you win or don't win.
Right, even if you don't have a Flint song, come on out, it's going to be a great time. We're just doing a bunch of stuff. Second Friday in June, which I don't remember the date of offhand, but come find us. We're doing our walk at Churchill's
And
Bar.
vote.
And just so you know, this guy is not here just doing this as a live painting for himself. This is a collaborative painting if you haven't been here before, which means as soon as he's done, if you want to jump up here and put a big star on it or paint something completely different, that's fine. It's a collaborative painting. We all contribute each time we have these. And at the end of the night, we have this just wonderful kind of collage of all of our different ideas and styles and poetry, lyric, whatever you want to put on there. It's pretty open. So feel free when Justin, wave everybody, when Justin's done.
Go sit beside him.
So I want you guys to give a big round of applause for our next poet up on the stage. Please help me welcome one of Flint's finest, Scott Russell.
Justin, you're really disturbed.
So, doesn't it?
Whoa. I was watching him draw those knives.
It's just a little bit too
Knives.
into it.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm to that age where I'm starting to lose friends.
Yeah.
Ryan, Bellows, you all knew. And also Ananthair, many of you knew him too. And both real surprises, and it's a really different world now. This first one's for Ryan. It's, the title is You Wouldn't Know Me. I have grown into a beautiful butterfly and leapt, my larval buddies munching leaves. I have split the chrysalis of fate and opened like a pair of thighs upon the heady wind of spring. Even if that sounds really bad, that's what I did. I am no longer able to be known by the DJ packing up in the alley, the painter wedging canvas in a hatchback, the love that warned me more than once. I am now in erratic flight above the wild carrot, my spiral tongue a poem to the sex of blossoms.
I've been doing these silly, what, I don't know what they are. It's curious. You go to these places, and these are some of these, I think most of them are about Michigan. They're interesting places in Michigan, really. There are places where some really, sometimes really evil things can happen. But anyway, this one is from an experience going to a writer's thing at Beta Knot Community College some years ago. It's called Escanaba. That was the party town. Okay. We smelled the paper mill to the west, heard the double honk of a train's horn eastward toward the bridge, followed by banging and trundling of 200 tanker cars through the balmy, stinking air. We strolled between car doors toward the pool hall, the group of us writer types, full of our words of love and the meaningless, two married, several single, one in love with one who didn't return that love. She had a way of walking with him and evading his hand as it sought hers without embarrassing him. If only she could write that well. Late Saturday, the town was empty, streets blue with shade, opposite storefronts golden as the sun descended a set of stairs into a copper mine. One of the group, the local boy, raved about the high tin ceiling patina of the bar, finding the poetry where nostalgia holds buildings together. The quaintness began to invade the substance of the world. We pulled the wooden door, made the bell ring. For a sullen moment, the local drinkers considered killing us. But we had brought quarters for the pool table, and so they spared our lives.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to a writers' conference in northern Michigan, just warning you, bring quarters.
Bring quarters.
There's this place over by Bancroft. I sometimes take a kind of a long cut to work. You try to find 2 lanes that would get you to Flint. And there's some guy out on this road that really, I thought at one time it would go through, but it turns out it turns to dirt, dead ends pretty quickly after his place. He's got this duck pond, and he's built a full-sized, real, actual lighthouse in the duck pond. It's not one of those little decorative ones. I mean, you can go up in it. It's got a light that goes around it.
Wow, where's that at?
It's over outside of Bancroft. Anyway, so
Draw me a treasure map.
I will. I promise you. It's called Lighthouse. I'm looking for an easy place to turn around. The pavement ended and the ruts are full. I saw a lighthouse and a man-made pond. Back there, some city dweller bought farmland. He's living his dream of a life that dull. I'm looking for an easy place to turn around before I get too lost, though I've been found by love, deputy, criminal, and fool. For that weird lighthouse in the man-made pond, no ship will ever come in or horn sound. A country mile from a brand new school. Maybe there is no place to turn around. Maybe the darkness will run me aground like a prairie schooner or a Kmart gull sighting a lighthouse in a man-made pond. But it's peaceful out here where dreams abound and tidal urges fail the lunar pull. I'm looking for an easy place to turn around. A lighthouse standing in a man-made pond. How long have I been doing this?
You got some time.
Okay. I should rearrange these better. Okay. Well, this one takes place in Iowa, damn it. This friend of mine was teaching creative writing, and he was having his class write Sestinas. And I don't know how it hit me. We were having a conversation about these creative writing class exercises, And it suddenly struck me. So I went off and I wrote this crazy thing. It's called The One and Only Morocco. Now, you guys know what a sestina is roughly, kind of?
Poem.
Yeah, it's a poem. You know, it's got this, the stanzas are the 6-liner stanzas. The 6 words that end each line are repeated throughout the poem, but they actually rotate in this really interesting way. And you never know how these things are going to turn out. The thing I like about it is that you really do cooperate with the language, you really do give up some control, you really do discover some stuff that you would never have written otherwise. Okay, the one and only Morocco. I have seen the long row of empty boats with bare masts drawn up on the beach at dusk, and that unholy colored surf that left stars behind, crabs that walk sideways, dead things I could not name, those orphans on the wet, skin-toned sand. Morocco is a beautiful word. I have never been to Morocco, despite its beauty. I live in this brain, with bare floors, meal sacks, and a skinny local orphan who sweeps up, cooks, and leaves at dusk with $2 for the house of the dead. I sit and penetrate the darkness between stars, as if I were thinking and looking up at stars. The tourists, the rebels and government of Morocco are a world away. Their victims, the dead who would rise up and accuse with bare finger bone sockets filled with that singular dust, all have vanished, and their orphans have come for me. Black and white orphans are shot on location with has-been stars. The television casts my motel room in dusk. Oddly enough, there is a little Iowa town called Morocco. Tonight, the circles of streetlight are bare, as if all of my Christian neighbors were dead. It is so peaceful and holy being dead. We bequeath our dangerous orphans to the world. Our blue tattoos bear motives, curses that carry to the summer night stars. There are 22 caliber holes in the O's of Morocco. A used car rocks with love in the 4 a.m. dusk. There will be another parentless child made of dusk. A comedy when born, a tragedy when dead. It may never know of a whole country called Morocco, but it could be one of those screaming orphans that rises from the audience to become a star. The night's length here is more than I can bear. Though I bear it dusk to dusk, listening to stars speak to the dead, my check is in the mail to the orphans of Morocco.
Yeah.
There's a curious little town we went through last summer. I've seen it on the map before, I always kind of wondered about it. Maybe some of you guys have been there, maybe some of you guys are from there, I don't know. Clap if you know this place. It's called Omer. O-M-E-R. Yay! Omer! Omer! Yeah. Evidently the postmaster back around 1860 something decided he wanted to name a town after Homer, but he discovered it was already taken. So he named it Omer, dropping the H. Just in case you ever wondered. Anyway, this is titled Omer. It is hot when we pass through. The local girls stroll to the new babies across 23 for ice cream at a seasonal shop made of log cabin motifs. They've never, all of their lives are described in words they've never heard of. It calls itself Michigan's smallest city, but it's the only the second smallest after Lake Angeles. It's got these pickup trucks with fat rear wheel wells, chrome silhouettes of big-boobed naked girls. And this year, a bolo of heavy metal balls hung from the trailer hitch. It is a hot, mean, frustrated tow service with a bar. Hunters are killed up here for acting like they know anything. The jobs last for 6 months at a time. And in between, everybody knows some taxidermy. When the snow blows over the 2-lane through town all weekend long, it makes a hiss like desert sand. The 2-lane through town, sex gets better reception than a TV.
Yeah.
But it's hot today as we plunge over the bridge towards Standish, famous for Pinconning, famous for cheese. So I recommend it, and the ice cream's pretty good. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up with this last one here. It's called Little Elegy. It's for Nantha year. March ends under 40 degrees. Arts and sciences bury their own. The sky above the empty trees says nothing of this flesh and bone. What spirit, may we say, endures? Philosophy has lost its edge among us. The good hand ensures a precipice, but there's no ledge. The man who drink and curse and sing, it is his face. The hands admit there's something wrong with everything. The truth has nothing under it. Thank you.
Both very great people that we lost. Very nice poems. So I just want to take a moment and read another poem from Voices, which, by the way, is available here tonight for only $10.
Only $10?
Like 80 of you have been to a poetry show before, and I appreciate that. The rest of you, it's a learning moment for us, teaching moment, if you will. So at a poetry show, or really any show, but especially at a poetry show, when someone says, I have this chapbook, or this broadside, or this immense novel of 8,000 pages, and it's available for this low price of only whatever, it could be $100, you really have to give it to them, because it's not just like a painting, it's like a portfolio of paintings. It's like a year or a lifetime worth of work just for one book. And so in the future, whenever a poet comes to the stage and says, I have this available for only $10, I want you guys to act amazed. Surprise the value you're getting, because it is quite a value. So I'll do it one more time. This is available for only $10.
Only $10?
I know, I'm surprised too. It's all Flint. It's great.
Yeah.
So if you guys want a copy, let me know. But this, I've never had a chance to do this in public, and I think it's kind of a good time. This is a poem I wrote for a friend who was about to leave on a journey. He had this immense mural in his apartment that he had painted, and it had DNA strains and all this crazy awesome stuff. And I wish I had taken a better picture of it. But this is to that mural, and it's by a friend of mine, Kenny, who I think has finished his journey for now.
Let's hope. Bring him back home.
Glad to have him back. Staring at a blank wall, I look for the hidden dots to connect everything together in silent geometries. Painting freely, I wonder if my blood is laced with the dead-end destinies of 1,000 generations of ancestors, and 1,000,000 more before that, leading back from ape to fish to microscopic goo, slimy in its savage way to survival and ineffable infamy. The success of my family tree is locked away in a scaffolding of muse-like DNA that has built me up to the transcendent artist, quietly painting the billion-year journey in place of preaching witty parables or relying on collective memory. So that's
Great.
for Kenny.
Show the picture that goes with it. Show the picture that goes with it. The picture.
This is not the picture of the mural. I did not have a picture
Oh,
of
but
it.
is that the one though that goes with that piece, right?
It goes with the piece in the book. So
Yeah, well,
It's by the
okay,
artist.
you don't want people to know that there's a
But
piece.
speaking of
Lost
great,
something.
Eh.
You beat. Nope.
thank you.
Other way. Yeah.
Since I got a moment, and you pointed it out, this was the flyer for the Voices we most recently had. We have a book coming out pretty soon, Volume 6, so I just showed you is Volume 5 from last year. But on the back of this cool little flyer is a schedule of free open mics in Flint the rest of the year here at Creative Collab Nite, just in case you forgot what day, the third Wednesday, we have it dated right there. And then another one that's a really cool free opportunity downtown Flint every other month called Support Your Local Poet, started by our friend Ryan Bellows. Which is just a really open environment at 9 p.m. on the first Saturday every other month. DJ Michael A, if you guys know him, he does the Wayback Machine, so it's an hour of poetry, and then until 2 a.m. we just got grooves. It's great. So come on out to that. I'll pass these around during the next act. But speaking of the next act, also going to be in our next Voices book, so watch out for him. Another incredibly talented poet. Please help me welcome to the stage, Alex Markoff.
Hi. So recently hello. All right. So recently I started doing a different project other than just normal poetry. It's a group of pieces that center around a conversation between me and a fictional character that I affectionately call the scientist. I don't know, I'm at a stopping point right now, so if anybody has any idea of, where I could take it. This is about midway through. I get all the way about, almost to where I stopped. I've written 17 and I get up to about 12, and what I have is 5 of those 12. You see what I'm saying?
Keep it going.
The 5 pieces that I have here are chosen from the first 12 pieces that I wrote.
Oh, that are going to
for
go into the book.
that I want to be into a book, but I don't know what to do. It starts off with a poem. The Arrival. The scientist arrived this morning like a letter carrier or a milkman. I opened the front door before he had a chance to knock. The scientist worked like an alarm clock. He understood the relevance of my reoccurring dreams, the ones that are always dreamt at night. In these dreams, I never officially graduated from high school, and my occupation these days is to continue to attend high school level classes. I keep taking the same classes and I keep failing them because it doesn't matter either way, and I hate to actually do the work. The scientist wrinkled his brow as he pondered either my face or what was on his mind or both. The scientist intended to be and was completely serious. The scientist arrived inside my dwelling. Our conversations were short, each one preserved inside its own dream. So that's the first piece. This is the second one. The scientist tells me, before you go outside tonight at dusk to be comforted by the fledgling moon or what have you, please be mindful. There is no such thing as a spark in the night. It simply cannot exist. The scientist seemed to be holding a nebulous shape in his stiff hands. He said, heat cannot be simply made up out of thin air. He seemed to almost be trying to prove himself wrong with his hands. In order for heat to form, there needs to be something to heat it, he said. So, do you believe that there was a Big Bang? I asked. If what we call consciousness has always been in existence, which I believe it has been, then there is no such thing as the beginning of time. The scientist carefully hesitated. And nothing is impossible. Except a spark in the night, I followed. The scientist laughed. Except a spark in the night, that is correct. Okay, so this is the 7th one. I think what stands between me and happiness might be my ego, I told the scientist. When I search my waking self for something that lurks maybe within my waking self, the scientist replied, my ego for a moment becomes what I am searching for. Something that, if activated, can suddenly hold all the water collected from all the rainstorms. The tides rise and also minimize. My ego is the sun that swells behind the clouds. There was a pause. You say your ego stands between you and happiness? I say that if your ego does indeed stand then you are what holds it upright. Well, I use the word stand as part of a figure of speech, I retorted. And I know that a barrier can also act as a rainstorm. I stand corrected, said the scientist. I gained some confidence in that moment. My ego is not like a man, I said. My ego consists of hot and cold forces, and I am meant to stay at room temperature. My ego is in this living room. It is small and impossible to erase. I walked over to the light switch on the wall and activated the ceiling light. The scientist and I watched on as the entire room became a shade brighter. The scientist then added, "We choose our metaphors carefully. Meanwhile, the ego maintains its watch like a reliable predator." Okay, so this is the 8th one. Would you consider yourself to be a master of presence? I asked the scientist. So this is about Eckhart Tolle and a bunch of people who preach this idea of basically like holding on to the present moment, the power of now, and all this stuff. And so it's sort of like a self-help kind of thing. Would you consider yourself to be a master of presence? I asked the scientist. We then both noticed that out the window the trees had begun to sway in the wind as the branches traced the outline of unknown shapes that continued to gain complexity. The scientist got up off the couch and looked out the window, just like how I was looking out the window. "Look at that," he said. I was already looking out the window as he said that, and so I continued to do exactly what I was already doing. "Did you see that?" said the scientist. I think I did." The scientist smiled. "So you witnessed the vegetation both separate and embrace the light in the same gray moment?" There was a pause as I noticed the sky had become slightly darker. "So there was a lot going on, is what you're saying?" "Well, there was a window that was transparent. We were both looking out of it. And we still are," I said, catching on. "I noticed that you were looking out the window and I deemed that it was good. I noticed you noticed me as I looked out the window and I deemed that that was good. I made a different observation than you did. Then I proceeded to make this observation. You said that we still are making this observation. I continued on to make a different yet very similar observation, an observation that does not divide us or bring us closer, followed by an observation amongst us, as I deem that this is also good." "You seem to be a very busy man," I said. "The master advises you to use your own discretion," said the scientist.
Yeah.
"So, what do you do for a living?" I asked the scientist. "I am constantly in search of something that makes a living for me. Some would say I am a professional altruist, but my agenda changes from day to day." The scientist got up off the couch and walked over to the bookshelf along the living room wall. He took a book off the shelf. He brushed some dust off with his hand and looked at the cover with pride. "I wrote this book," said the scientist. For some reason, I was not the slightest bit surprised. "What was it like to write that book?" I asked. "It was like finding a way to talk to myself in a written form. It was a fun nightmare." "Why was it a nightmare?" The scientist seemed to have something to confess to. "What is written in this book is inescapable. It is a record of what will happen. There is a chapter in the book that describes, for instance, what is happening here, right now." "So there's a chapter in the book where I ask you to verify that there's a chapter in the book that describes exactly what I just asked?" The scientist was instantly inert in that odd moment when he first opened the book and flipped to a single page that he pinched between his fingers. He read out loud in the same manner that I read out loud. The scientist was instantly inert in that odd moment when he first opened the book. The book closed like a light turning off. The sudden memory of the sound of his voice. I was stunned, and the scientist knew that I was stunned. He looked at the floor and made his way back over to the couch where he plopped himself down, the book clenched in his hands. He looked into the empty space in front of him. I am a letter carrier, he said. I'm a milkman.
Most of you know, we had a campaign earlier in the year. We wanted to really show that we appreciate Ken and the Good Beans and, just having kind of a home to come to every month. It really is kind of a rare thing in this community, and so we really appreciate it. We did a crowdfunding campaign, and we tried to raise $1,200 just as a token for all that Ken does for us, and to have these for another 2 years. We raised it. It was quick, it was easy, people love us, they love what Ken does for us, and they want to show their support. So I want to call Ken up here real quick for a presentation of our appreciation. I think I have an assistant getting, the assistant, yep.
Assistants and everything?
Oh, everything. We went, spare no expense here.
Diana White.
Do you have something to say?
I do, actually, yeah, heck yeah. Creative Alliance has, we began our 6th year of doing this this year, and I couldn't be happier to be the host location for you guys to do this. I also couldn't be happier to have you do this campaign, and it's interesting to me because it was funded within like 12 hours by one anonymous person, which made me just, realize that along the idea that everybody gets what I do here for this and for all arts and for community, some one anonymous person got it just as well, and that just blew me away, that one anonymous person would say, this has so much value, I'll contribute it with one fell swoop. So I thank all of you and what Creative Alliance has always done, but I also thank this one anonymous person very much too, because I'm quite sure they give much more to the rest of the community and they like to remain anonymous for that reason, but it was really a proud moment for me to just see it, because I was kind of afraid that I'd be that one guy that didn't get funded and have to give it back, so.
Well, just give it up for Ken. We really appreciate everything. They couldn't process that checkbook.
Oh, awesome, you guys.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Cool. Thank you very much. This all goes to good work. We're good for 2 years. So
2 years.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean don't buy coffee, He's got employees, you gotta keep supporting them. So thank you again,
Thank you.
Ken.
It doesn't mean don't be creative. Keep being creative.
Keep being
Yeah.
creative.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Nick, does he know that he can't really keep the check?
That's a detail we'll talk about after.
And before we get to the next act, which I'm really excited about, one of our awesome regulars, if anyone has any community announcements, now would be the time.
I gotta plug it.
Got a plug.
Hey guys. How's it going? I'm happy to see some new people out here, so welcome. For people who haven't been here in a while or since I've been here. Okay, that's not the point. I'd like to stagger these plugins, is that okay?
Yeah.
If I stand up here and talk too long,
Just do one now, and
glaze
then we'll
over.
make
Okay.
it work.
Plugin number 1, if you're a writer, raise your hand. I like to do this a lot. If you like to
It's all
write
be honest.
poetry, raise your hand.
Be
Wiggle your
honest,
finger.
it's not a bad thing.
Classes with children.
Yeah, if you didn't tell by now, I
Okay.
yeah, so, point being, if you like writing, if you like poetry, if you like to write, if you're nervous about your writing and would like a friendly atmosphere to exchange feedback, if you'd like to just hear it, see what local people in your area are up to in that creative domain, you should come check out Writer's Circle. It's a CA writers group, and it is going to start meeting again, starting this Thursday, tomorrow, at 7 o'clock at Churchill's. So, Writer's Circle, this Thursday, 7 o'clock at Churchill's, and it's generally every week. You can like our Facebook page, Writer's Circle, to stay up to date. I think it's at like 678 likes or 687. I don't remember, but it's somewhere up there.
Yeah.
I checked that number to like see that it's like the local one versus like a general one. So if that helps, and then we might change locations. So just keep an eye out.
So stay tuned. Starting tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Churchill's. And that Writer Circle has been one of the foundations of the CA for a long time. It's one of the early groups that we've had. We've tried to keep it going. We've taken a bit of a hiatus, so we're just excited to bring it back. And it's just like this stage. It's all love. No one's going to say, oh, you're a terrible writer. You know, we're here to learn from each other. We're all students, right? So, you know, no matter what age, no matter what experience. So, without further ado, please help me welcome our next act. He's awesome. Give it up for Lee.
So good to see that you did get the funding for this. This is a special place. I go to a lot of open mics, and my granddaughter goes to some of them with me. And we wound up in a place this week in particular. It's been like two extremes. We were at I don't want to mention the bar. It was a benefit for a fellow musician that had an accident. But just to show you the difference in open mic crowds, I would say the main attendees there, and there was a lot of them, were the Adventure Motorcycle Club. And I have no problem with them, but it's a whole different crowd than what's sitting out here. And we stayed for maybe 2 songs, and I think that their playlist must have come out of David Allan Coe's repertoire, if you know what I mean, and it was raunchy. So that doesn't bother me so much, but having my granddaughter there, we kind of bail out after 2 songs. And then last night we're at a senior center out in Linden, and it's the complete opposite. You know, I don't mind playing those places, and it's fun. But some of the people were sitting there expressionless, you know, as opposed to all the raucous stuff going on in the bar. And some of them, you almost want to go up and go, anybody in there, man? You know, but it's all good. And well, sometimes you can't tell if they're appreciating the music or not, but hopefully they are.
Put a mirror up to their nose.
But this place falls in the middle of those 2 extremes. You know, people throwing beer bottles at you, and then people going to sleep. So this is kind of a special setting for that reason. People are attentive here, and they seem to want to hear what you're doing. And I just enjoy coming down here and being just on the fringe of all the talent, and the spoken word is just great down here. Hope I didn't use all my time, Jim.
You good?
Okay.
Hey,
This first song, we okay?
can you just bend your light down a little bit? It's like, there, perfect.
Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Let me know if it's
No, that was perfect.
gets in your way. So okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, this first song is it's called Endless Sleep. Endless Sleep. For some reason, back in the 50s and 60s, and when rock and roll was in its heyday, you know, just starting, they did some songs that were, I don't know what you'd call them, kind of a morbid fascination with death and car accidents, and Brian knows what I'm talking about, different things that would be happening. This is one of those, but I like the song. We coming through? Oh, yeah. Can you bring my end down some? The night was black, rain falling down. Look for my baby, she's nowhere around. I traced her footsteps down to the shore, afraid she's gone forevermore. I looked at the sea, and it seemed to say, I took your baby from you away. I heard a voice crying from the deep, come join me, baby, in my endless sleep. Why did we quarrel? Why did we fight? Why did I leave her alone tonight? That's why her footsteps ran into the sea. That's why my baby has gone from
sea, and it seemed to say, I took your baby from you away. I heard a voice crying from the deep, come join me, baby, in my endless sleep. Ran in the water, heart full of fear, there in the breakers I saw her near. Reached for my darling, held her to me, stole her away from the angry sea. I looked at the sea, and it seemed to say, I took your baby from you away. I heard a voice crying from the deep, come join me, baby, in my endless sleep. I looked at the sea, and it seemed to say, you took your baby from me away. My heart cried out, she's mine to keep. I saved my baby from an endless sleep, an endless sleep. Hooray.
Yeah.
Turn that over there, Kristen. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that back then. Jan and Dean, you know, they did some songs, Dead Man's Curve, yeah, somebody's familiar with this stuff. And just that sort of thing, you know, somebody getting killed and or maybe nearly killed. This song here is called 3/4 Time. If you are a musician, or maybe not exactly a musician, you know what 3/4 time is. It's kind of a waltz time. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life, I guess. I've slowed down to 3/4 time, as much as I can. I heard Ray Charles do this song, and I think also Willie Nelson. The first line of the song has the two words, enchiladas and Eldorados, you know, Cadillac Eldorados. So when I heard those first two words in the song, I knew I was going to like it right away because I like both of those things. It's called 3/4 time. I like enchiladas, old Eldorados that shine, old friends and guitars, songs, women, a little wine. They say that I'm living too fast, but I feel fine. And I just keep easing along in 3/4 time. Sometimes I get sideways, stay up all night writing songs. They say that's not healthy, but somehow I keep going on. I write what I feel, I don't care if the damn thing don't rhyme. Just give me a C chord and play it in 3/4 time. Well, it's a big old world, we all have to live our lives. One thing's for certain, ain't none of us getting out of here alive. So while I'm still kicking, I'm gonna keep picking my tunes. I like what I'm doing, I hope it don't end too soon. For all of my life, one thing I keep hoping to find, a woman who likes to make love in 3/4 time. It's not
Got one more for you here. I was talking to Brian earlier. Brian usually participates, but he said he didn't have his material quite ready, and we come here, once a month for quite a long time. And after a while, you do start getting to the point where, we know a lot of songs, but you wouldn't want to do some of those songs here, but I don't
Go
know some of the
ahead.
songs, but no, there's no biker crowd out here. They couldn't appreciate that. Here's a cover of an old Eagles song. It's called Tequila Sunrise. It's another tequila sunrise, starting slowly across the sky. Said goodbye. He was just a hired hand, working on the dreams he planned to try. Days go by. Every night when the sun goes down, just another lonely boy in town. She's out running around. She wasn't just another woman I couldn't keep from coming on. It's been so long, and it's a hollow feeling when it comes down to dealing friends. It never ends. Take another shot of courage. Wonder why the right words never come. You just get numb. It's another tequila sunrise. This whole world still looks the same. Another frame. Take another shot of courage. Wonder why the right words never come. You just get numb. It's another tequila sunrise. This whole world still looks the same. Another frame. Well, thank you so much. Well, actually, Ashley's coming up. I guess my granddaughter's next on the list, so unless you got something in between.
No, let's get right into it. Another very talented musician. Please help me welcome Ashley to the stage.
Okay, the first song I'm going to do is called Tim McGraw by Taylor Swift.
Back road
In my old faded blue jeans, when you think Tim McGraw, I hope you think of me. September saw a month of tears, and thinking God that you were here to see me like that. But in a box beneath my bed is a letter that you've never read from 3 summers back. It's hard not to find it all a little bittersweet, and looking back on all of that, it's nice to believe. But when you think Tim McGraw, hope you think my favorite song, the one we dance to all night long, the moonlight spotlight on the lake. When you think happiness, hope you think that little black dress, think of my head on your chest. In my old faded blue jeans, when you think Tim McGraw, I hope you think of me, or think of me. Send away my blue eyes shine, put those Georgia stars to shame that night. I said that's a lie. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the next one I'm gonna do is called Coffee and Cigarettes, and it's by Never Shout Never. Coffee and cigarettes are my only escape. I got my cup of joe, my pack of Stokes, and I'm on my way downtown to set up shop and sing my cares away. So won't you sing with me, 'cause it's cold outside and I'm feeling kind of lonely. Friday nights are always the same in this town. I'm looking up, but I'm feeling kind of down. So I'll light this cigarette and smoke the night away, and we'll hope that Saturday will be the day when everything feels okay. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Coffee and cigarettes are best when shared with you. We'll go to Waffle House or your mom's house and share a cup or two. Yeah, I have friends, but they have friends, and they have parties, and I'm so awkward. So what do you say? Just his friends, they see a movie this weekend. Alright, okay. Friday nights are always the same in this town. I'm looking up, feeling kind of down. So I'll light this cigarette and smoke the night away, and I hope that Saturday will be the day when everything feels okay. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch to the piano. Okay, this song is called The Lucky One, and it's by Taylor Swift. New to town with a made-up name, and the angels say just a fortune flame. Camera flashes, make it look like a dream. Had it figured out since you were in school. Everybody loves pretty, everybody loves school. So overnight was a rose garden over Madison Square, and it took some time, but I understand that now. 'Cause now my name is up in lights. But I think you got it right. And they tell you now you're the lucky one. Let me tell you now you're the lucky one. Yeah, I'll tell you now you're the lucky one. Thank you.
Okay. Who signed your ukulele?
Where is it? Okay. Farewell My Love was the first band to sign it. They're a theatrical rock band from Phoenix. And then Christopher Drew from Never Show Never signed it, and then just a few other artists.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Give it one more time for Ashley. That's cool. That's great. I've never seen you sign this ukulele before. That's really sweet. Before we bring up our next act, do you guys want to hear a poem?
Sure.
Yeah. No?
Yes.
Be reading again from Voices,
Which we just happen to have for
which is
sale.
available for sale for only $10.
Only $10!
You guys are learning, I like it. This is a poem by Mr. Terry Kinsey, who recently hosted our last one. Inspired by this painting by Brian Stadler. It says Fat Rats Get Fatter.
Can you hold the painting up for me? Just so
I cannot, I
could
hold
you-
the book up. with
Yes, I mean the
painting.
book with the painting on it, and I'll zoom in so people can kind of get an idea. Okay.
All right. It's called Sparky's Town. Ignite Flint Town brownfield. Smoke builds, lungs fill. Spark memories of them killed. Fisher bodies drift the river still. Buick City reeks of sushi deals. A single carp can make a couple meals. Fires flare up after firings. Fried feelings have a couple wings. City council needs counseling. Wasted funding notwithstanding. Pot-belly pinatas stuffed with beer, conies, and onion rings. Bow to the emergency king and manage to kiss his pinky ring. Soiled hands clutching dirty notes, emerge in time to trash our votes. Cold-blooded in a winter coat, keeping journals full of murders wrote. Extreme crime per capita makes my home the crime capital. Each new idea that moves up roots is likely seen as radical. Every move around uptown is seemingly screaming of tactical, but we can all still make an escape downtown for a 4-block sabbatical. We've seen the birth of NAFTA and what lies at the end of happily ever after. Where the princess takes the carriage when marriage dissolves in the 13th chapter. And it made Grandpa's nostrils flare watching $1,000 suits collect corporate welfare. And Dad, he found it funny how the man is always the man who wasn't there. And Mom heard we have plenty of enemies over there. She just can't remember where. So perhaps I'm not aware, but it doesn't seem to matter, or I'm too broke to care what makes fat rats get fatter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real treat for you guys next. Please help me welcome Dave to the stage. Give it up for Dave.
Great.
Hello everyone, my name is Dave. It's my first night here. Heart's been beating since I pulled in. You probably all felt that way.
Before you start, Dave.
Yes.
All right, guys, etiquette. When it's his first time here, you better show him some love.
I've been writing since I was about 16 years old. My dad was diagnosed with alcoholism. A lot of intense emotions, so I started putting pen to paper and started flowing. I haven't stopped since. I've lost a lot along the way in my rough life. Had a rough life, ups and downs, we all got them. I selected 5, I didn't know how long I'd have to read, but this first one is just, a lot of it's just about what's going on inside me, so it's kind of deep. Hopefully you like it. First one's called Synapses to Nerve Endings. 10 tension, compression, intentions left unnoticed. Only the beauty is shown like the blossoming of a lotus. Who told us this is what we should feel, and who told us how fast, or even how to heal? I'm real, and ing is the action I use to project outward the scenes I try to protect, and connect the effect of synapses to nerve endings. It's all my chemicals in me that's giving the lendings, the possible bendings that I'm pretending. Separate imagination from life without contemplation, what a world it would be. Never-ending retaliation of the mind as things start to unwind, not binding to anything. Everything is get what you see. Sweat starts to drip off of me, and a single drop pulls off to pull me out of the sea beneath me. And it's hard to see when you're a love-defied machine like me that can't get a sheet. It's a calming living death that's killing me. But you can't see because it's beneath me. Synapses to nerve endings. Okay, so this is just about stuff that's like going on inside of me. I write a lot of personal stuff. It's not about stuff that's really going on around. I guess I'll just read it. It's called The Becoming. If the sum of your darkness was to explode, how great would the darkness be that's exposed? If the earth was to cry, wail, and thrash from all her iniquity, symphony of impending doom. My casing of soft brass has been penetrated from the outside, from the inside. If it happened to be titanium, the process would be exaggerated. I've been hammering and drilling for decades, through the dormant no vacancy in the self-consuming cascades of evolving senses. And self-decency, they can see, has been animalistic. Like a flower aging through the single weakest point in concrete, I start my process to secrete, defeat. Man the 100 billion cells, sound the bells, of all the ones, freedom yells. Vocal cords become spaghetti in the mouth, retaliators flee south. Contemplate the sight of one against the other, 999,999,999,999. Their blood will run like wine. Freedom versus the war with the false pardon bells. They chime for the self-destructive home of moments ago. With one comes all. No piggy bank could hold this double-sided coin. The stab right in the groin. They scream join. I can't. But I grab the loins of the enemy and tear. My skin is now jagged and hanging. I release pain along with the same. Destruction with destruction of fear has the ability to hear the drilling and hammering, to them a sinister grace that now forms this once shredded face. They are no longer my master of misery, disaster of scenery under the skin that is haunting. Turn on the hose to expel this pressure and no longer neat and folded in a dresser that is my soul. In there is now dust to line everything, the very thing that I'm becoming. The fault line is assembling, monumental rearranging of the tectonic plates of the heart. The question at the end will be, where did you begin from the start? When I became something from nothing, the very thing that is becoming. This next one was about a girl I knew. She inspired feelings in me that I once knew. The title is With the Birth Name of My Birth Month. Born in April, so her name was April. Where to start but from the heart, where gratitude and humility beat into my head the art of interaction. The spark of a faction to give the reaction of a fraction I haven't experienced since time hence. To expose us to its full potential like a cavity in a space that's dental, this has an anti-gravity that's somewhat detrimental to the very conceivable conviction containing cranium concentration. With the birth name of my birth month, your eyes give birth to a sparkle, like that of the most gigantic solar flare. And to look I did dare. This action brings forth an eclipse of emotions and notions once lived. Their effect is that of a message subliminal. All explanations have their polynomial. Extensive is the meaning's newborn to its parents' minute meaning. Again, your eyes are simply plutonic postage to my being. And like a fish recently set, I'm off reeling in unsystematic patterns. Out in the darknesses, your irises were like lanterns. My head turns at the visionary fire burning across the room. Who knows to converse with you soon, and again those eyes were that as the sun shining at high noon. Not a cloud on the horizon, just my eyes on. The color of your hair is corn. This is my rhapsody in written form. Maybe it can be torn into a melody containing a horn. The form of the horn can be torn from the sound being born and adorned in my mind. Maybe there you will find, in the vast warehouse of my mind, a kind recollection of the brief severity of the once non-livable depravity. Maybe just for a moment in time.
Yeah.
This next one I wrote while I was at work years ago, just looking at the trees, and it inspired me to write about my life. It's called Like These Trees I Will Be. Unseen through, semi-transparent view to clearly taken in. View of seasons through a tree. As leaves fall, reminded of things lost, let go. People, habits, and places of old time spent. Where is all this time went? As the leaves drop, one more lesson learned. And in piles of them children play and flop on the old memories that are burned. Broken, frail, and crumbling. To become the dust to form new moments. From these I learned the trees as their colors turn. They morph from life to death. As they release, one by one, they cease from the dwelling of thousands to now none. They are separate and free. The seconds before earth has felt intense emotions are the opposite of their descent. They are ever rising. That comes when the trees are barren, like the air in this world. The green to flames of color, which is greater in essence than the other. The turn that is never visualized frame by frame, only in brief glimpses of that very instance. Only then do we realize they have started their change, their range of collapse. And like these trees I am, old things are falling away with the slow turn of this planet, its sway. Things no longer needed are discarded, bombarded, and replaced. To bring space to new memories and moments, feelings and atonements. Like these trees I will be, ever falling away, only to await the day when everything I lack will come back to life.
Nice.
This next one I wrote at home. Just wanting to go outside but can't, I'll say that. It's called A Beginning. 1,550 pages to fight the ages, a weapon to drain the semi-permeable cages. Unanticipated eagerness to address the crevice of the recess inside. Apply the stimuli to the eye of this mind. I'm terrified at what I might find. This is self-reconciliation to self. There are terrible things contained in the spaces between cells. Like peeling the grass away to visualize, this process has been anesthetized. There is the burning that's been doused with water. It's so hot it divides oxygen from hydrogen, and it's the perfect mixture to burn hotter. I scream from the inside to the world through glass, just to surpass the minute mesh of the screen. To become an ant, the servitude has minuscule longitude and latitude, especially with this attitude. Reclusiveness, that'll do. I avoid the void where the blinds no longer work overtime. Days off are revolutionary to the inspection of vast layers sedimentary. Foresight is one razor-sharp knife, able to bisect stitch from the epidermal that constrains with an epic fight. Truth lies buried and fossilized. The phobia is being docilized. Its peace is that of being ostracized. Change is the door and is reinforced. Non-human force, let your power course and endorse the sledgehammer intrusion that has to be wielded so the strongholds divorce. Like the skin non-penetrating from the trap door. Let the insides feel the need to pursue extricating. The alarming reverberating knocks are heard, a single word, storm, and a single quiet response, retaliation.
Nice. That was his first time. Are you kidding us? Well, I will be the first to admit I don't necessarily make it through all the collab nights. So if it is your first time tonight, please let us know. We want to show you some love. We want to show you some support for coming out. It's always a treat to have new talent in the room. So up next, I think this is the first time, and if it's not, we're going to show them some love anyways.
We wanted to switch our
Oh, no, they both have split songs.
Huh?
Daniel.
No. I'm sorry. Sorry, I haven't seen your glasses.
He thought you were doing that because
I will
he
let
called
you
and
in
was
just
going
one
to call
second.
the name.
Back here. So Dave's been here once before, and I don't know if he got the appropriate applause.
He will this time.
So give it up for Daniel Pender and his guitar player.
While we wait, let me take care of this.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You guys having a good time so far?
Oh, yeah.
You are. You are. All right, good. If you're not, I'm not doing my job right. If you didn't get one of these little cards on the way in or out, don't forget there are other open mic opportunities in Flint, downtown Flint. There should be a stack in the back. It has the rest of the stuff for this year here, as well as our shows support your local poet at Churchill's. We'd love to see you guys all out there. And without further ado, Daniel Pender.
How you guys doing tonight? This I actually did write a Flint song.
Yeah.
Great.
I'd like to play it for you now.
Oh, wonderful.
I used to play in Battle Creek a lot, and this was the song I was hoping would be like my hit single, besides this other song I wrote it that I hated. It's
put my shoe away. I wander in the dark, with choice I cannot choose. But in my head I win, in life I like to lose. So what, whatever feeling is fleeting. So what, whatever feeling is fleeting. So what, whatever feeling is fleeting. I wander the unknown, uncertainty's home. Although it looks unsafe, I put my shoe away. I wander in the dark, with choice I cannot choose. In my dreams I win, in life I like to lose. So what, whatever feeling is fleeting. So what, whatever feeling is fleeting. So what, whatever feeling is fleeting.
Great. One more time for Daniel.
The song about nothing is pretty damn good, I'll say that. And Daniel has left the building.
I just want to say before we get to our next great act, we have both the most recent edition of Voices, Voices Volume 5, and Voices Volume 4 from the last year before that.
Oh, for what?
For only $10. What would you make the deal? 2 for $20.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear a poem from this one?
Yeah, nah.
Real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could we get him autographed?
Oh, well, you know, a lot of the artists are actually here in the room as we speak. So if you bought it tonight, it's a fair chance you can find the guys and ladies that are part of this and get them signed. This poem I want to read. It's by me, believe it or not.
But my collaborative partner was Jenny Munch here, Jenny Lynn, who did these similar paintings of local celebrities. You may recognize them.
Yeah.
This is the one she did of me. It's a little
Okay.
skewed.
Yeah, let me get a close-up of it.
Get the close up.
Yeah, not like I don't have the JPEG.
Maybe I read the JPEG in the room, I'm not sure.
But it's called Vortex though. And I can't remember who inspired you, but I was inspired. You see, there's 3 expressways in and no way out. One way through, easily confused with bricks and booze. Barely a city. First in bankrupt and underused. Predictably, we as citizens, though few, feel toxic and abused as ugly factory blues paint the news with blood, blight, and burnt down schools. Appealing, like roadkill to the flighty New York culture vultures of cool who call struggle quaint and pick at bones like fools. But that hometown artist is honor-bound to defend his muse even from its suicidal self. And I refuse to let this refuge for fellow refuse, otherwise known as hell, be scrapped and collapsed by the bulldozer agendas of explorers with wealth. More demolitions every day, but no one needs a commune of gated condos to replace the vacancy. Or another exclusive event, too expensive for locals to attend while decision makers devour parcels of parents' land like a course of fillets. So easy to parking lot away great centurion trees and obvious opportunities. So hard to remember the prosperous city. All that's left are old curb breaks, empty union halls, and the Alzheimer's elderly. Cultivating our own leaders starts with the simple seeds of constitutional literacy, because the right to bear arms is always second to that #1 priority. That's respect for others' diversity. And those in the know that until now this country's been aimed like a plane on a tragic trajectory. An epic untold and a people polluted with propaganda imagery. Now's the time to re-educate ourselves on what it means to have a sense of humanity, to stand up and spend a generation manifesting a new destiny. Please let me welcome to the stage our next awesome act. Give it up for Charleen Cook. Well, we can down here.
By the way, for anybody who was here in September, the cover art on the magazine that he just read the poem from is what inspired Digital Girl. So if you liked the poem, go take a good look at the cover of the magazine he just read from. Because I'm not going to be doing that one tonight, so. Instead, since it happens to be April, I think we should have more poems about spring. How many people out there think it would be a great idea if we had a few more poems about spring? This one is called Springfield. Oh, the spring has come to Burbank. It's awakened from its nap, and from somewhere in these suburbs comes the sharp staccato tap of the nail against the woodwork. How the busy hammers ring as the carpenters remodel California in the spring. But my thoughts are back in Springfield, where the wheat's begun to grow, and the breezes hum cadenzas as across the fields they blow. Oh, it's very nice in Burbank, but I'm packing up my gear, and if Greyhound doesn't miss me, I'll be getting out of here. As the flowers start to blossom, all the people blossom too. They wear pastels, tie-dyed blue jeans. It's the most impressive view. But the sun's a pat of butter in a blue plate special sky, interrupted by the ruby of a cardinal whizzing by. But the meadowlarks in Springfield are as bright as any sun, so I'm racing to my bus stop and reflecting as I run that spring fever for your birthplace is a light both far and near, and as I head back to Springfield, someone there is coming here.
Yeah.
The Palace of Love. 8 years ago, when happiness and hope and sorrow all were mine, I owned what really must have been the grandest castle on the Rhine. It was not made of dazzling quartz, but just of granite, dull and gray, but such fine granite as a man could never hope to find today. I never saw the silvery Rhine that all the classic poets found. My river was a muddy stream, but its gray banks were hallowed ground. I did not live secluded there. The world was welcomed in to see whatever splendors pleased its eye, and have a glass of wine with me. I had some servants there, of course, since in a palace there should be at least a few, but I, myself, could find no use for more than 3. They polished all my earthen jugs. Their ways were lithe, their hands were deft. But this was all 8 years ago, and now there's just one servant left. This thing is called The Replies, and believe it or not, it managed to get published in a book on creative writing for high school seniors. It was part of a seminar. In those days, I never heard the term publisher perish, and I thought the reason they were giving this seminar was to help us improve our creative writing skills. No, it was so this guy could publish a book, which was his job in life. He was a professor, that's what they do. And it's called The Replies. Up on the hill, a bird is waiting. Spring and mating it calls to me. Down in the glen am I, reclining and divining what life may be. There on the hill the sun is clinging, madly flinging a golden glaze. Here in the glen the trees, dim bowers, draped by hours with deep gray haze. Oh, on the hill the bird keeps crying, man, come flying, your answer's here. But in the glen, the gray romancer breathes my answer into my ear. And for something to look forward to for next month, most flowers will be out next month, but think about this. I have more, this is called Diamonds in the Dew. I have more riches than I need. There's diamonds in the dew. The honeybee has gold for me. The sky is topaz blue. Great emeralds in my garden grow to daze the eyes of earls, and I can search for knobs of birch if I'm desiring pearls. The rich man has his rolls of cash to give to charity, but I have more. I am not poor and I will never be. I marvel at the miracles that God in springtime do. What man's estate is half as great as diamonds in the dew?
Nice.
My concluding poem was inspired by one of those things they show you when you're in classes in junior high school or senior high school, I don't remember which. They're always showing you travelogues of some kind, and this was about Notre Dame. It's called The Demon Dog. I'm seeing a gargoyle at Notre Dame, Paris. And incidentally, if any of you know who William Stolpen is, he's a local artist and printmaker. He's done what I suppose was probably inspired by something very similar. He's got a print with some gargoyles in it. I'd really love to run into him and give him a copy of this thing. A frozen curse in sculptured stone, he thrusts his face against the skies. His tiny, pointed ears enhance the hair-like cunning in his eyes. His mouth has formalized a leer as it reviles the world below. He mocks the glory of the saints and turns their words to empty show. He is a warning and a truth, a deathless, ringing verity that screams its message at the world. Cassandra-eyed in prophecy.
Nice. Believe it or not, I've been trying to get her to come here for years, and I'll see her maybe once a year at a Voices event, and I'll always forget, like, oh, why don't you just come every other month? So it's really a pleasure to have Charleen on the stage. Speaking of things that give me pleasure, it is important that we all remember what tonight is called. It's Creative Collab Night. Now you may have noticed me painting on this wonderful collaborative painting. I'm no painter. I don't claim to be. But it's about effort, right? So I want everybody to take their chance. Don't worry if you're painting over somebody else's stuff. That's part of kind of the fun of it. Don't be shy. Come on up here and join the painting, all right? Oh, I was wrong, but I'll make it one of these. So up next, we got a really great artist. She's been here a few times. You guys know her, you love her. Please let me welcome Yoshi to the stage.
Alright. I am the stars, and you are my galaxy. And we both know that we're just flying spirits in the sky. And every time I look in your eyes, I see mine, but you're not interdimensional dice. So to you, I'm good intentions with bad decisions, and I believe in God. I'm just not you wanted was my soul, because souls never do more. This that love without no care. This that fall without no fear. This that see the sky in your eyes, addicted like a sunrise. This that mind, body, and soul. This that feel your energy through me. Them good vibes and vibrations, your frequency got my mind racing. Then time stops and my heart breaking. The day keep waiting to loosen. I'm hallucinating on lucid dreams. My type of G's, you love me in my dreams. I just wanna be one with your soul. I just wanna stay up till 3 a.m. in the abandoned area, laughing so hard that our stomachs hurt and the whole atmosphere slows down in front of us. I just wanna make us up with the stars in the sky, and you looking into my eyes and you see the galaxy and the stars and everything around us doesn't exist no more. Don't you forget to wear flowers in your hair. Don't forget to wear bell bottoms, bring your llama laps, and wave your freak flags high. We are about to start a revolution. I repeat, we are about to start a revolution. This is the Summer of Love Part 2. I'd rather go back to 1967 where revolutions had happened. Art, music, and fashion. Disco dancing with Jimmy doing shrooms in nature. I've been talking to trees and painting psychedelic pictures. Rapping with flower children. Politics with the hippies. Now say the Pledge of Allegiance. This is not a free country. The government against me. They plotting and trying to get me. I keep my third eye open. If they shoot, they gon' miss me up. San Francisco. Don't you forget to wear flowers in your hair. Don't forget to wear your bell bottoms, bring your lava lamps, and wave your freak flags high. We are about to start a revolution. I repeat, we are about to start a revolution. This is the Summer of Love Part 2. I'd rather go back to 1967 where revolutions had happened. Art, music, and fashion, where human nature was legal. It wasn't hard to be you. Now money, cars, and chains somehow now make us equal. They made us into a product, another way to enslave us. I'm not talking our race, human race. They want to kill us, brainwashing us, but they fear us. Psychologists are here, but school is for the untalented. Who are you really after it? A product. You a product, a product, a product. You a product. San Francisco. Don't you forget to wear flowers in your hair. Don't forget to wear your bell bottoms, bring your lava lamps, and wave your freak flags high. We are about to start a revolution. I repeat, we are about to start a revolution. This is the Summer of Love Part 2.
Yeah! We have a very special treat. Not only Kevin, but Nadia on drums. So please, welcome to the stage one more time.
This first song, a few years ago I was in Peru and a friend of mine played this. It's called Perfidia. And I was like, oh, that sounds so familiar. It was written by Alberto Dominguez of Chiapas, Mexico. Here's a little intro. This one here, this is I'm glad they kind of let the Cubans have a little freedom now, you know. The United States been being pretty hard on them for 60 years, you know. So this song is by Jose Marti, the words and bass on this poem by him, and the music is by Pete Seeger, who passed away, was a great environmentalist besides the songwriter. Okay, so. This next one is, I'm going to do Stormy Monday. lot better, you know, I worked on
Oh,
it.
that was great. Wonderful.
Stop yelling at him.
Don't yell at me, you.
Yeah.
You heard.
Yeah, oh, yeah, there's the thing.
Hey, and I'm available,
Under
if
somebody's
anybody wants to buy me, it's
stuff.
$200 for an
We
hour.
started a new line right here.
Hey, $200.
Carry that back for you.
Yeah, please, thank you.
Very happy.
Come on.
Very careful.
All right. Well, that was great. You guys like that? Yeah. We got one quick announcement, possibly some interpretive drumming.
Possibly some interpretive drumming. There was, once upon a time, in a land far away, sort of. Back in the day, when there was a Dorito bag that crumpled, there was a time when people made art, and this time is now. Well, specifically, it's Mondays, and every Monday. And there's this thing called Must Art Mondays, where you can meet with other like-minded creative people who paint and draw and write and sing. And I got that blues beat in my head. Thank you, sir. It was wonderful. Seriously.
Must Art Monday.
Yeah. So basically, this coming Monday, we are going to meet to collaborative paint a sewing machine table. So an old sewing machine table, and our theme is going to be somewhere in the domain of Rosie the Riveter and high color crazy mandalas and henna patterns. So if you are down for collaborative painting a sewing table, you can join us this coming Monday from 6 to 9 at 1940 West Court in Flint, a little bit down the way from La Azteca. It's going to be this cube garage building, and we are going to be back there possibly having a fire later on. Supplies will be provided as part of a donation from some local community organizations, and our hope with Must Art Mondays is that we can do more of these, like every 2 or 3 weeks throughout the summer. So ideally, we are going to, sometime in August, during the art walk, we are going to have an outdoor gallery showing of these collaborative pieces and auction or raffle them off with proceeds going towards creating a supply fund, because we think at Must Art Monday that if people want to get together to make stuff, especially learning from workshops, that we should probably provide some supplies for everybody who wants to learn, so they don't have to worry about can they afford it or not. So if you want to take part in the fun collaborative experience of making a thing and then seeing the art you made of somebody at a showing outdoors in August, and if you want to take part in making a supply fund where you can also later on access these workshops and be a part of making those workshops happen, feel free to join us this Monday and other Mondays, and like the Facebook page. I'm almost done, I promise. Must Art Mondays on Facebook. So if you want to stay up to date, you can check that out. Thank you so much for your time.
So just to recap, if you're a writer, writers, raise your hands. We're all writers, everybody raise your hands. That's right. The Writers' Circle starts again tomorrow at Churchill's at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you there. It's a really safe, nice, loving environment where you can get some good feedback and really share your writing. If you're a visual artist, we have a treat for you, Must Art Mondays, which has been over here at the corner of Grand Traverse and University and Stone Street.
Yeah, but we're moving locations now.
Yep, and I will tell them that. It's now been moved up past La Azteca at Center Street. There's an old garage. You can't miss it. If you miss it, you went too far. It's on the right.
But it's not permanently moved, right?
Nope, it's just for this time especially. And that's going to be 6 to 9 next Monday. And speaking of collaborations, don't forget we still have this wonderful collaborative painting that I would hope everyone adds at least something to, especially our visual artists in the back. If a poet can do it, anybody can, right? Speaking of poets, we have a great performer up next. I'm pretty sure it's his first time here, so show him lots of love. Please give it up for Odd Pike.
Another month.
I already have it entered.
Okay.
Yeah, he already entered it.
And this is my third time, by the way. Oh, sorry.
No, you gotta get with it.
Yeah, I don't get with it much.
Alright, I'm gonna play a song called Oriental. It's off my new album.
So you've been barred, dude.
I expect it.
Hey. Rolling down the street on my deck, headphones, wrap around my neck, sun in my eyes all the time, feeling like I'm just cashing check, feeling so damn positive, sweet words get pumping in, so loud to the speakers wrecked, there's no words in my head, my friend, no words in my mind, just let your voice shine, right around till I never got the time to talk to you, but please don't cry, I'm not a bad guy, just young, I Pike, had an open mic like every night, not really good, but they feel my vibe, live in the hood, but I don't do crime, record so much, I'm about to die, yeah, I'm about to die, laying in the casket, then I stay good night, no skinny jeans on my flow, it's tight, tie around your neck, now your soul is mine, take it down the hell with that flames all bright, but I got blessed time, so I can't see the light, no, I can't see the light, writing those verses, with a dog, I was mental, swings on global, yeah, we going continental, boy, it's so dumb, don't know the fundamentals, I got my eyes closed, like I was oriental, yeah, the beat with flag coming through to the max, dressed in all black, man, I'm the man, I don't know you, man, but I'm rolling down your block, the block is hot, so my homie is out, watch out, look at the cops, they're right over there, looking like some pigs with their shit full of hair, they're staring us down, giving us an evil glare, just cause we love and we never really can. No, I never really cared. I'm walking down the hall and I'm getting hella stares. Is it cause my hair or is it cause I'm weird? No, it's cause they mind clothes like a winter fair. Nothing's ever fair. I try to get even when they push me down the stairs. Falling down flights, but I'm never gonna fight. Cause it's useless. The thing is, they don't know I make music. Writing all the verses. With it all mental. Sway going global. Yeah, we going continental. But it's so dumb. Don't know the fundamentals. I got my eyes closed, like I was oriental. Yeah, writing those verses. Would've thought I was mental. Sway's going global. Yeah, we going continental. But it's so dumb. Don't know the fundamentals. I got my eyes closed, like I was oriental. Thank you.
Sure you don't want to just kick something real quick?
Oh, do you want me to play another? I'll play another.
One more?
This next song. Warning, this song is kind of like upbeat and just a little fast. It's not like my other stuff, so.
I like it.
There was something dazzling in the sky last night. We're not talking about New Year's Eve fireworks.
Well, people from all over Northern California contacted us to report a bizarre flying object.
This has a really long intro, sorry.
You said George Warren spent the day trying to identify the unidentified flying objects.
Well, we saw it right through the trees. It was bright enough to shine directly through the trees without any problem seeing it. Stephen Brown watched it over Sacramento. Hans Mouth spotted it over Auburn. Kind of coast from over that direction and came across kind of slow. I see the same thing that Kate Pinlock saw in Stockton. Pretty much right above the posture here. Multiple objects, he says, captured on his iPhone. I see like 6 orange color lights.
Hey, let's take a trip, memory lane. Look inside my brain, my goal insane. No, we are not the same. I'm addicted to the fame, you addicted to the decay. Not famous yet, I ain't gonna lie. Always on my grind, no, I never got the time to mess around with hoes, but they always on my line. Always on my line, but I'm gonna shine. Yeah, I'm gonna shine. Give me line to the light, and up at the right. Line by line, rhyme by rhyme. Kill a rapper slow, so they all gon' die. Put them in a casket for the shitty rapping. No, this ain't a practice, I came for the action. No, I ain't backpacking, just sitting home relaxing. Sitting on the couch with some gold in my mouth. Not true, cause I ain't from the south. I pay bills and you sit home and out. I'm at home playing music real loud. Disturbing neighbors until I'm kicked out. Out and about till I'm in Brack's house. Blowing with my bros cause we on top now. Cause we on top now. Thank you.
section. That's so dope. Give it up one more time for Pike. Third time here.
My first time seeing
Up next. This is for sure his actual first time. So please help me welcome MC Pender to the stage.
No food or water, and the sun is just burning my skin. My feet's tingling from the bruises and blisters, but my journey still have to begin. Outside for hours getting stung and catching insect diseases. Fleas biting on my neck, ticks sucking on my scalp. No one's around to give me first aid help, but my brothers and sisters dying and crying, and kids walking into rooms witnessing their mothers dying of HIV and no FOOD, and they claiming they helping us by putting us on commercials, making money off our struggles. Now that's America's professional hustle. See, they hoping they can bury us in the casket so they can make $5,000 off our practice. But in the U.S., we known as ghetto or ratchet, no good or just reckless. For 1,000 years, we've been slaved and traded, forced to clean kitchen floors, hanged or chained to the wood if we didn't follow the rules for sure. This is reality. I'm not promoting racism, but somewhere in Africa and somewhere in the U.S., there's that little boy who needs our help, little African boy.
Poets out there in Flint. A lot of people don't perform very often, and I'm always kind of sad that we have this chance just once a month. So before we get to our next act, I have Shelly has a great announcement about some other cool opportunities for people next week.
Thank you, Nick. Next Friday, can you hear me? Next Friday night, we're having an open mic at Buckham Gallery to celebrate a show that's going on there called the Arts in Detention Show, which is to celebrate the wonderful artwork that is done by some of the youth at the Juvenile Detention Center on Pasadena. So we are having an open mic to celebrate some of the young poets who have been writing with a poetry project there over the last few years. We have artwork done by some of the youth there as well. But we're inviting the whole community to come out to celebrate the work of these wonderful young people, and we're having an open mic, so everyone is invited to come and share their poetry and their writing and whatever else with us next Friday night at 7 p.m. at Buckham Gallery. Thank you.
And for everyone who didn't make it to our walk, it's a great show. It's not just the words of the girls and boys, it's their artwork. There will not be feedback, I promise. It'll be great. It's next Friday at 7.
Next Friday, Buckham Gallery, 7 p.m.
9 days, count them down. All right. Up next, a poet that needs no introduction, except you might not know it's about him if I don't give him one. He makes you scream, he makes you cringe, but it's always in good fun. Please help me welcome Nathan Atkins to the stage.
Yeah!
Well, we're going to do 2 new ones, but they're really depressing, so I'm going to interlude them with 2 old ones just to kind of break the mood. And let's go back to spring, since spring is here, right? So to start off, this is called A Meeting with a Stranger. I walked along a path of old, covered in fall's leaves of gold, once hidden under winter snow, that were now to spring a stranger. Amongst the woods that surrounded me with... What's this feedback? What is that? Sorry. Amongst the wood that surrounded me with all its tall budding trees and all the splendors to be seen, I was just a stranger. Suddenly I was taken back with surprise. I can't do this. What is this? What's beating back at me? I'm sorry.
It's the heartbeat under.
I don't want to do a repeat. Yeah.
Ariel and Paul.
Well, we're going to forget that poem because that messed up, but can we handle this? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that one's done. I apologize. Let's move on, huh? Yeah. Man, no repeats, huh? Okay, this is called The Repercussions of Divination. For all the things that Christianity has to offer,
I think, even though I disavow with them, they have one hell of a creation story. Or perhaps I should say Judaism, since we are trudging on the grounds of the Torah. Either way, it is beautiful. In the beginning there was God, and he was consumed by his own godliness, which was nothing more than loneliness. Solitude and loneliness, solitude and loneliness, solitude and loneliness, stretched out to the parameters of infinity. And so, creation was not so much his purpose, but rather a means to an end. Anything to break the solitude and loneliness. And so God created light and dark, still lonely. And so God created night and day, still lonely. And so God created land and water, still lonely. And so God created the sun, the moon, and the stars, still lonely. And so God created beasts of water and air and land, still lonely. And so God grew desperate. And desperation led to the unthinkable, something in his own image. God created separate godliness. In the image of his shortcoming were we created. And then, pleased with his relief, he rested. The son of a bitch went to sleep. And I'm not so sure he ever woke up. So here we are, and so it goes. Granted with the greatest gift and cursed to be forever alone. I'm not so sure if he deserves my thanks or my hatred. I guess in my grand divination, I'll manage the conundrum with juxtaposition and grant him both. But he better wake up soon. Otherwise, I'm afraid, only one side of the coin will be left for him. Okay, let's that's deep. Let's break it up before I go too deep. Let's have a little fun here, a little jokes, huh? This is called the benefits of dating a sound sleeper. I remember I was having the greatest of dreams. It involved some girl from way back years ago when I was still in high school. In the magical realm of dreams, she hadn't aged or changed a bit. Somehow the dream switched. I was suddenly taking a piss. I didn't know I was dreaming, but that changed quite quickly as I woke up to the warm and wet puddle that was forming around my crotch. God damn it, I thought. I had been so drunk I pissed myself. Even worse, it had woken me up from the greatest of dreams. Either way, I thought I gotta handle this. And so I got up carefully, as I possibly could, doing my best not to wake up my current girlfriend sleeping next to me. And then I walked to the kitchen, got a warm glass of water, returned to bed, pulled back the blankets, and slowly poured that water onto her panties. I did it stealthily and methodically, afraid of waking her up. Then I hid all the evidence, shook her by the shoulders, and said, "Wake up, honey. You were so drunk last night, you pissed yourself again." That's right, I said again. This had become a common occurrence. Poor girl. My ridiculous drinking problem had become her unfortunate bedwetting problem. And now we're gonna, I'm sorry, don't call the authorities, I'm not this depressed, but it's not so much that I want to die, but rather I have become bored of living. There's no pleasure in anything anymore. Drinking has lost its appeal, and even sex just isn't what it used to be. I've learned to hate my only pastime. It seems I have to force myself to write these days, and no enjoyment comes from it, and nothing noteworthy ever manifests itself. You can only bitch about the woman that left you so many times before it gets boring. You can only praise that miracle elixir on ice so many ways before it gets old. And when you are the only one reading it anyway, and not even you likes it, then yeah, what's the point? It's not so much that I want to die. I just don't know what I'm waiting for. Woo. The fates have been kind so far, even if the gods have not been. But let's face it, it isn't like there's some great accomplishment waiting for me now. I'm worse than a washed up has-been. I'm a high and dry never was.
Oh, man. Wow.
It's not so much that I want to die. It's just that even breathing hurts anymore. And don't get me started on thinking. It just hurts. Every second hurts. And it always has. What a trick was played on me to make me in such a way as to hate every minute, but also be so stubborn and prideful to have to endure and deal with it. It's not so much that I want to die. Oh wait, maybe that's exactly what it is. No matter how much I try though, I guess he's just having too fun with me to have that happen anytime soon.
Always a ray of sunshine.
See, I'm pretty good at introductions. I'll let you know if you'll be uncomfortable. I can tell these two you were.
So we got a few more artists on the list. I appreciate everyone, not just doing your piece and leaving, because what's the fun in that? We get to see each other and really appreciate all the talent we got in this community. Now this artist, I have not seen her perform before, and this may in fact be her actual first time on this stage. I don't know. Well, if you tell like it is, please let me welcome Mindy to the stage.
Yeah!
It is indeed my very first time. Anywhere sharing it, I'm like, whoo.
We feel blessed.
All right. This first one is just my experiences with grace. Darkness shrouds her face. A light brightening, held with grace, shines through, enveloping, developing, warm, sweet embrace. Stillness, quietness, a hush, a rush. Walk down, dance down, scream and shout down, come down. The ledge, the edge, the shore, the past, let it go, leave the rest. Climb up, run up, come up, warm, sweet embrace. It is done, it is finished, it is grace.
Yeah.
It's kind of going to be hard a little bit for me to read. It's a really big issue for me, childhood mental illness. This kid, I asked him, hold my hand, let me hug you, let me love you. This kid, I asked him, do you see the blue sky? Do you feel the warm sun? Do you feel love today? This kid quietly asks for an easier time, one quiet moment, one softer day. This kid cries out, cuts out, chokes out the black days, angry red hours, his relentless mind. This kid, this wonderful sweet boy of just 10, asks, why me? Why these days, these pains, and God, why do I have to hurt? This kid, born with a mind, betrayed, obsessed, a mind not meant to own. This kid, I will keep comforting, loving, fighting for peace, for easier days, for his hands to stop trembling. This kid, rotting brain from birth, this kid will know blues of a bright sky, pinks of a sweet embrace that doesn't hurt. And this kid will take my hand and fight, survive, love.
Yeah. Great job, Mindy. One more time for Mindy. It's her first time on stage. What a natural. All right. Now this next gentleman, I'm pretty sure it's his first time, and if it's not, it's my first time seeing him, so I feel very happy to say, please help me welcome to the stage, Christian Pavkovich. Give it up for Christian. There he is.
Yeah, very cool.
Now give it up for Christian. It's his third time.
I swear I have not been here that often. It's his third time, but it's still the first time for me.
I don't even want this. Do you need to plug in? I don't think so. Okay. Does this need to be mic'd?
It does not need to, but I will. Should be good.
Hi. Alright, I'm going to start off with a song that is untitled because titles are the last thing I do and I'm really lazy. So, here we go. This was one that I think I wrote 2 weeks ago, or at least it became finished 2 weeks ago. So this is its world premiere.
Give yourself
favorite song, so I was gonna play Holland 1945 by Neutral Milk Hotel, but then I got a much better idea. So I'm gonna read you this poem that I wrote probably 10 minutes ago.
Yeah!
All right, this is called The Whales, or The Whale, actually. I am the avatar of a whale, the prophet of a deep sea that laps the waves with blue. A whale that soars across the sky, another blue. A whale that fits into the small places, speaks in curves and lines, and enjoys small meals at small tables. I wear a cassock that looks like cloth, but is really seaweed held together by tape. I spend 2 hours every day trying to become enormous in size. I try my best to incorporate black and white into my daily routine. But now that I think about it, that might be orcas, which are not whales. I do not know a lot about whales.
Give it up one more time for Churchill. Just blew my mind with a classic made of seaweed and tape and a potential whale that is not an orca. So we got 2 more acts, and I'm really excited you guys are still here for the fun. We got some really good stuff coming to you. Up next, we have an artist that we've had on our podcast that's available at flintunderground.org. Just a really cool guy. He's not from the area, but we're glad to have him. Please let me welcome Justin Scanlon to the stage.
Don't mind this bag. This was actually from a little job I pulled off about a half an hour ago.
Diamond theft.
Yeah, what am I gonna do here? What am I doing here? Anybody like blues?
Best friend Larry slaps me in the back, calls me a genius in his Cadillac. And look at my girlfriend, all dressed up to thrill. Just says that she believes until she sees the bills. I live with fools and a bucket of beer, with nothing to console me but a bucket of beer. Yeah, you're gonna be a star. Yeah, the star, starling. You're gonna be a star. Yeah, star, starling. The dude from the radio station unknown says I'm gonna make it while we get stoned. I slip him some blow because I need the blade. Got to pray that cancer takes a holiday. It's agony, action, the words in stone. And honey, when you die, you got to die alone. You're gonna be a star. Yeah, a star, star. You're gonna be a star. Yeah.
blow. You know you need the play. You got to pray that cancer takes a holiday. You're gonna be a star. Oh yeah, a star, 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 man. Packed up his sails for the night, and the shoes of a fisherman past the lurch of a drunk. Can anyone show me their souls lost and found? See, God knows where we're going, so don't look at me. We're like a kiss between the sky and the sea, but as we enter the ocean, they'll be back on the stores, waving the stumps of their dreams, and nothing nothing more. These heartless towers, we grow blind at the sky, drive us to concrete by the whites of our eyes. And look at the air, it's torn with sirens and sounds. We'll slip away like angels unbound. See, God knows where we're going, so don't look at me. And we're like the kiss between the sky and the sea. And as we enter the ocean, they'll be back at the stores, waving the stumps of their dreams and nothing more. I think that heaven's a place that must be everyone's, anyone's birthright by violence or grace. Still they knock on the doors and they make lots of calls. Who could conceive of heaven with walls? See, God knows where we're going, so don't look at me. And we're like the kiss between the sky and the sea. But as we enter the ocean, they'll be back in the stores, waving the stumps of their dreams. See, God knows where we're going, so don't look at me. And we're like a kiss between the sky and the sea. But as we enter the ocean, they'll be back in the stores, waving the stumps of their dreams and nothing more. They'll be waving the stumps of their dreams and nothing more. And nothing more.
Yeah!
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Justin! Yeah! Thank you, sir. I'm always impressed when someone can really make the guitar sing. I mean, everyone tonight has been wonderful. We're really blessed to have so much talent.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. So we have one more performer. You guys ready? Yeah, you're ready in the back. He's not ready. Okay. We have one more performer, ladies and gentlemen. Please help me welcome to stage Adam Churchill.
How's everybody doing?
Good, yeah.
First night I came here and witnessed, excuse me while I trip on the stool. First night I came here and I witnessed what was going on, it made me think of one poem. It's short, it's sweet, and it's written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Wow, I got it out. I always stumble over his name. It's called Arrow in the Song. Oh, Mike, you can't hear my loud voice? Better? I shot an arrow into the sky. It fell to earth, I know not, oh, I said it all wrong. I'll start over, yeah. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth, I know not where. For so swiftly that it flew, could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to earth, I know not where. For whose sight is so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of a song. Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke. And the song, from beginning to end, I found again in the heart of a friend. One of my favorite poems.
our
We
reading
need
station. That's
to
right.
get out more, Nick.
I'm so happy you guys joined us tonight. And we'll be here again next month on the third Wednesday. Please take a look to your left, take a look to your right, look under your chair. If you see any trash, help Ken out, pick it up, throw it away. There's trash cans in the other room. Thanks for coming out, guys. See you next time.
Thanks.